Hi guys, so I wanted to quickly explain your taxonomy project and how to create a taxonomic scheme. It's tripping some people up, and so I want to give you an example. So let me present my screen here. Okay, so you guys should be able to see the creatures that I have here. You guys have imaginary creatures that have different body types and different descriptions, and your imagination will play a part in how you classify them and how you picture them and how you illustrate them. But let's start with these known creatures, and I want to classify them into 4 levels: kingdom, phylum, genus, and species. So if I take all those creatures and I look at their features and I say, okay, I want to divide them into 2 or 3 kingdoms, I'm going to divide these creatures based on where they live. So I have a group that lives on land, a group that lives in water, and then one individual who doesn't live just on land or water, so he gets his own group. That's my kingdom level. Now I'm ready to start dividing into phyla. So I'm going to take my first kingdom level and I'm going to divide that into different phyla. If I look at those creatures, I separate them into non-hooved animals and hooved animals. I have my okapi and my zebra that both have hooves, and I have my elephant and my cheetah that do not. So I have a non-hooved and a hooved phyla for each of those. I'll then take my non-hooved phyla and separate it down more, and I look at the differences between them, and I have a trunked animal and a non-trunked animal. They are alone in their genus, but if I had another trunked animal in this group, that would be okay, because I would separate them again at their species level. So the taxonomic key would look like this. So I started with all my land dwellers. I broke them into different phyla, the non-hooved and hooved animals. Then I separated my non-hooved animals into trunked and non-trunked animals, and I was left with just one critter in each category. However, if I introduced a new animal into this scheme, I should be able to classify it correctly. So let's say I put in a woolly mammoth. A woolly mammoth would be a land dweller. It would not have hooves. It would have a trunk, but it is a separate species from an elephant. So I would have another purple box down here at the bottom that had a separate box for my woolly mammoth. So you can have more than one species in a genus. But because I started out with so few critters, as in my example, it often turns out that I'll have just one critter in each genus, and that's okay. But I'm not done. I need to go back and classify my hooved animals. So I look at these hooved animals and I try and see what makes them different. I notice that my okapi has horns, whereas my zebra does not. So I take that phyla of hooved animals and I split it into 2 different genera or genus. Genus is not a word. Genera, and I have horned critters and non-horned critters. And again, there's just one in each genus. So when I go back to at my species level, I only have one species in each of those genera. And that's okay. But I'm still not done. I have my land and water dweller to deal with. And even though he's in his kingdom by himself, he still needs a phylum and a genus and a species. So I look at his features. He has spots. So that's his phylum, has spots. If I introduce a new critter into this taxonomic scheme and it doesn't have spots, I would then make a phylum under that land and water dweller that says no spots and continue to classify that critter. I look at his features further, and on his genus, I assign his red body color to the genus, and that leaves him alone again. So he started out as a land and water dweller, having spots, has red on his body, and he's alone in that genus. So here he is at the species level, and that's his name, dart frog. Still not done. I have my water dwellers. These two water dwellers are different in lots of ways. I have a piranha and a jellyfish. I think the most obvious feature is their teeth for the piranha and absolutely no teeth for the jellyfish. So I use that as my phylum characteristic. I could have picked something different. I could have done their color. I could have done their the place on the world that they're located. It doesn't matter what feature you use. It's your choice on how you pick those features. In his genus, I choose to use his size. He is less than 1 meter. There are big fish that are greater than 1 meter that have teeth. So it would separate him out from any other fish that we might be introducing into this taxonomic scheme. And the jellyfish genus, I selected color to choose there. Jellyfish come in lots of different colors, even glow in the dark or glow under black light colors. So that's kind of interesting. And that leaves us with our complete taxonomic scheme. We have our land and water dwellers, our water only dwellers, and our land dwellers. You're going to have about twice as many creatures. So your taxonomic scheme is likely to be more complex. You would have maybe more phyla, maybe more genera or genuses. But at the end, you will end up with 14 different species across the bottom. If you're struggling to fit this all on one page and you don't want to do it by hand on a poster-sized page, it's fine. You can put each kingdom on its own page. That's perfectly fine. If you have any questions, please let me know. Reach out. I can Zoom with you. I can email. Send me screenshots of your progress so I can help. Take care, guys. Good luck.